Unfortunately, I could not procure an audience for this speech, so I'm just going to get started. Organized religion, also known as institutional religion, is a highly monitored and involved structure of faith, usually followed by large numbers of people. Examples of this are Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Faith practices based in spirituality and meditation are not considered organized religions. Having stable and robust mental health are being promoted by the mental health awareness movement and taking our modern day society into a more mindful state of being. And yet, nearly half of our country's population belong to an organized religion. Why is that a bad thing? Well, people who have gone through the institutions of organized religions face insecurities, self doubt, and anxiety. 20% of people who consider themselves very religious describe religion as being harmful to society. Organized religions have been the leading causes to social conflicts, violence, and wars, as well as harming people's mental health. Organized religion does more harm than good because it instills fear, develops insecurities, and leads to greater forms of conflict. Organized religion uses fear tactics to keep its followers in place. All organized religions have their own agendas, and using fear is an easy way to keep people following the agenda that the religion promotes. For example, the ideology of hell and sin. It's drilled into followers early on that if you commit a sin, you will go to hell and suffer for the rest of eternity. And yes, it is very understandable that one would want to promote murder and assault as violent and evil, but there are more minor and even some absurd actions that are considered sins. When even lying, sex outside of marriage, drinking some, getting divorced, gossip, eating pork are considered sins that could land you in hell, it's almost arguable that organized religion considers being simply human is worth going to hell. Human beings have faults, not to mention some of the more absurd forms of sins that organized religions consider immoral, when in reality, it makes the religion itself seem immoral. Love between people of the same sex, being a person of color, and defending yourself as a woman are considered sins in different organized religions. The most absurd sin that I can think of off the top of my head being wearing clothes made with mixed and synthetic materials and fabrics. Even not being a member of the religion will damn a person to hell. Having been raised in organized religions creates insecurities in people who no longer consider themselves members of the institution. These insecurities can follow them the rest of their lives. The majority of people who leave these institutions of organized religion do so because they dislike the feelings of guilt, anxiety, inner conflict that come with it. But these things have already been subconsciously instilled in them and follow them throughout the rest of their lives. Through the concept of sin and hell, the fear of those things will stay with a person as they make their own decisions in life, almost like conditioning. Organized religions create greater subconscious mental defenses, like self doubt when facing contradictory evidence, and people will revert back to what has been taught to them by religious authorities. Many people find that they have developed a fear of death, worrying that their actions in life will result in an eternity in hell without having the chance to repent for their sins after having left the organization. Finally, organized religion has been the leading cause in greater societal conflicts such as economic gluttony, violent assault, and wars. Organized religion has been creating societal conflicts as far as King Henry VIII being excommunicated from the church for wanting to divorce his wife. This created conflict on a political scale and involved the entire country and its civilians in the process. It resulted in the creation of an entirely new organized religion, the Church of England, that people still struggle with to this day. Religious extremists across the country have committed terrible acts of violence against people of different color, religion, sex, and sexual orientation in the name of the organized religions that they follow. The war for the Holy Land has been the cause of mass casualties on both sides of Palestine and Israel. Organized religion does more harm than good because it instills fear, develops insecurities, and leads to greater forms of conflict. It has instilled fear, guilt, and self-doubt in the lives of many in its strive for its own power. Some who have escaped their institutions continue to struggle with its teachings, and extreme followers have affected the lives of others in order to promote their cause. Sociologist Phil Zuckerman provided evidence that the least religious societies also tend to be the most peaceful, prosperous, and equitable, with public policies that help people to flourish while decreasing both desperation and economic gluttony. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, also known as Pastafarianism, as ridiculous as it sounds, I know, started as a satirical open letter written by Bobby Henderson to the Kansas State Board of Education, protesting the decision to allow the teaching of intelligent design and creationism in public school. Henderson's letter described the necessity of teaching flying spaghetti monsterism along with intelligent design and creationism. From there, it became a social movement, a symbol of opposing the teachings of organized religions in public schools. Thank you.